nutshell here, I made a very difficult decision to make this a public journey of mine that I'm going through at the moment. And the reason for that is because I have, after many years of trying, eventually got a date to go for bariatric or weight loss surgery. And it's been really interesting to see people's reactions, from most people being aghast that I'm going because they don't believe I need it. I can't possibly be that overweight, through to the silent no responders. Very interesting. However, having spoken to a lot of people over the last few years, it's really become very obvious how much stigma there is around obesity and people's feeling that it's self-inflicted and therefore you should deal with it or just eat less and all of these things. What I wanted to do was address some of these, but also at the same time tell you how I'm getting on. If it helps anybody, fantastic. If this is of interest to anybody, absolutely wonderful. This is not going to be a rehearsed thing. I am going to simply have some notes with me that I will be posting in full. So it's like journals for myself and for people to follow along with in case they're going through the same things that I've just been going through. So you'll be able to see like a transcript really of what's going on here. I'm going to take out a few of the things that I wanted to address in this first episode because it's now I'm in minus, okay, I've got to calculate this quickly. What are we today? Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's T minus 9 days, 9 days until my surgery. So what is it? Bariatric surgery is also commonly called weight loss surgery. Bariatric is simply another term for somebody who is obese, and I am obese. Despite what everybody says about, oh, BMI is rubbish and all of that, there is a reason that they've put BMI in place. And yes, it's contentious. Some people who are really slim can come into the obese or overweight, category, and they clearly aren't. Well, I'm not one of those people. So a little bit about me, 61 years old now, been trying to get surgery done for, I'd say, 4 years now. And that's a part of that I will go into at some point. I am 5'1", aging, so probably shrinking a little as well. All of this being extremely short and being overweight, absolutely, I fall into the morbidly obese category, not just obese. You can't get surgery for weight loss unless you fulfill certain criteria. It's certainly not on the NHS. And even if you go privately, you have to fall within certain guidelines. And those guidelines are within sort of 38 BMI or higher. And if you can get it slightly lower, the surgery at a slightly lower BMI if you also have some serious comorbidities. So for example, if you have kidney disease or if you are diabetic, if you're in a wheelchair, there's all sorts of reasons, but the main thing is your BMI has to be over a certain amount. Now, when I was younger, clearly, in my late 30s, I was still my ideal body weight. I was 48 kilograms. I'm going to have a quick look on my notes what that is in pounds. So 48 kilograms is 105 pounds. And those Brits out there, 7.5 stone. I was little, okay, very small, very petite. I'd always been a ballet dancer, and I was extremely healthy, extremely fit. Many conditions later, falling, breaking the base of my spine, having surgery for that, having a number of other surgeries, and then getting a thyroid disease. Didn't help. Medication for that. It was a bit like, what do they call it, the perfect storm? Well, mine kind of all merged at once. Couldn't exercise, couldn't walk, couldn't do anything, and then the weight just started to grow. And over 10 years, it just went up and up and up, and before I knew it, I was obese. All of this is just to give you an intro. I'm going to try and make sort of like little capsule videos each day or each couple of days or whatever to talk about different topics within this. But yes, this is about me now being preparing for my surgery in 9 days' time and what it is that I'm having to go through. It is not an easy thing. It is not a quick answer. Believe me, when those people think silently to themselves, you should just lose weight, or, oh, seriously, why do you need to do that? Can't you just go on a diet? Well, no, sometimes you can't, I'm afraid. And I'm point in case. I have been eating under 1,200 calories for, I would say, close to 5 years now. And I lost a lot of weight. And then every time I do a diet or do go onto a special eating plan, my weight plateaus. And then, of course, it slowly starts to creep up as you try to maintain that weight loss. And drugs don't help. You know, if you're taking drugs for pain the way I am, those drugs are known to cause weight gain. Thyroid disease can cause weight gain. Not exercising will cause weight gain. Doesn't matter how little food I consume, I will still gain weight. And I want to help educate people that not everybody is just fat and lazy. You know, yes, I'm fat. I certainly am not lazy. And I certainly do eat extremely healthy food. And I'm very conscious of what we eat. And my husband is as well. And so none of those things apply. And so I need people to consider that not everybody falls into that, you've got yourself into this, get yourself out of it kind of attitude. And I'm going to go through some of the things that we have to go through to get onto weight loss surgery, and what you have to do to prepare for it, and what you have to do post weight loss surgery. This is not I'm going to have a part of my stomach cut out, and so I'm going to be fine for the rest of my life. I can eat what I like. Absolutely not. It's not that. This is going to be a lifelong, this is the rest of my life. 61, I could live 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Who knows how many years I could still live. I want those years to be healthier. I want those years to be lighter so that I can propel myself in a wheelchair. I can get a little bit of exercise. When I get an asthma attack, it doesn't debilitate you. When, I got COVID, it doesn't floor me for 6 months. There's all of those things that have to be considered in the round. And it's a huge decision, a huge, huge decision. And briefly, I'll just say that at my biggest, at 102 kilograms, so that was about 3 years ago, I was 102 kilograms, 225 pounds, and 16 stone. Bear in mind that previously I told you my weight has been 48 kilograms, 105 pounds, and 7.5 stone. That was after I had 3 children. and continued like that until my children were in their teens. So that is not an unrealistic goal. Yes, I've gone through menopause and you do gain weight. So I'm not expecting to get back to 48 kilograms. That would be crazy. I would look terrible, I believe, at my age. I would be happy just getting close to 60 kilograms, which is, 12, 15 kilos over what my previous younger self's body weight was. So I don't have expectations of being the svelte, petite young thing I was back in my late 30s. I just want to be a healthier in my 60s. I want to be around for the grandkids. I want to be around to have fun with my family. And I want to be around for many, many years to be with my husband. And so this is one of the major reasons I'm doing all of this. So bearing that in mind, I've gone from being 20 BMI, which is your body mass index, to being 42. And it was shocking. I went to the doctor about 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was in 2019 or 18. And that was when I first spoke about it. Now, in the UK, a doctor, first of all, is called a general practitioner, a GP. That's the guy you go to for your general coughs and colds, and he refers you to specialists if you need them. So if I go through this route, you've got to go through this process. You can't just skip the queue and go and say, I want to have the surgery done. No, that doesn't work like that. I asked them to put me on a list. They did. I started to lose weight because they suggested I try and lose some weight and be a healthier, the more weight you can lose, even if it's a tiny bit before surgery, is helpful. It really is helpful. And so that's what I did. I did that. And then COVID happened. Wow, COVID threw some curveballs, didn't it? And for me, it was the fact that I lost weight. Seriously, of all things, I lost weight. And because I didn't see a doctor in that time, I continued to be on this ultra low calorie diet, which is what was recommended to me that I needed to do by my neurologist and by my doctors. So I did that, and I absolutely stuck to this faithfully for nearly 3 years. I lost a lot of weight. I went from 102 down to 72 kilograms. I don't know what that is. 102 to 72. Have I got it on here? 98, 102. No, I haven't got it in front of me. So you have to figure that one out. Anyway, 72 is still a huge amount over what I would like to weigh. But you know what? I still felt so much better. I felt healthier and all of those things. So that wasn't a waste of time until post-COVID. I believe it was 2021. I went back to the doctor to find out where my referral had got to because I'd heard nothing. And I knew the NHS was in a bit of chaos because of COVID. I had been patient. I shouldn't have been, really. Because by the time I went back to see my GP, the response was, you can't be on the list anymore because you've lost too much weight. It was a real blow. I mean, one of those knock your socks off, blow me down moments when you think, what? I've gone through all of this. I've done everything you want me to do. I'm still going to keep losing. No, I'm not going to lose any more weight. But as soon as I stop doing 900 calories a day, I'm going to gain weight again. And I will be back where I was, possibly even worse off, which I was. Very disappointed. I kind of lost the will to carry on doing 900 calories a day. I think most people would. And I just started slowly reintroducing a few bits of carbohydrates because that was the main thing we cut out on that ultra low calorie diet was carbohydrates. Because if you don't know, carbohydrates just turn to sugar immediately in your body. So when you think you're eating a potato, you're not. You're eating sugar. When you think you're drinking a nice pint of milk, you're not. You are drinking your calories, and your calories in milk, which are some carbohydrates, turn to sugar. When you eat that fruit smoothie that you think is really, really good for you, the same way I did, it goes straight to your bloodstream. And the sugar in the fruit just turns straight to sugar. So anyway, it was all very disheartening. And lo and behold, 2 years later, here we are, where I am now. I went back in the beginning of this year, 2024, and I spoke to the doctors again, and I said, look, I'm back up to 98 kilograms. I need to be put back on that list. And they said, fine, we'll send you to the clinic, and we can get you on the program, on the track to your surgery. I only then found out that if you do get on the list, if you qualify, and you don't necessarily, your doctor may say, yes, I'll put you on the list, but they may not accept you, number one. Number two, once you're on the list, you have to prove that you're prepared to lose the weight and to live the rest of your life on a special, new diet, a new way. It's a new way of life. You have to lose weight. You have to wait a year proving that you will attend your appointments, that you are going to try and lose weight. There's all these things that these hoops that you have to jump through. And although I was more than happy to do that 4 years ago, thinking that I want to be healthy in my 60s, when I'm 60 and older, it landed up me being now 61 and possibly 3, 4, 5, or 6 years away from getting surgery through the NHS. That is just a fact of the number of people who are obese that need the surgery, the delays COVID has caused in the NHS, and all sorts of things. It wasn't tenable, it wasn't viable for me, and we decided that we needed to pay for the surgery ourselves. So that's what's happening. So for today, that's what I wanted to tell you. Next week, Thursday, the 20th of June, I'm in hospital having a gastric sleeve weight loss surgery, also called a sleeve gastrectomy. It's bariatric surgery or weight loss surgery. I'm going to go through with you at some point, showing you the reality of what it is to be obese, short like I am. Not particularly look obese to most people. My top half isn't, huge and bulky like you would. I don't know. People, I think, imagine all obese people can barely walk. Well, I can't walk, but that's another story. So everybody carries weight differently on your body. The way you carry your weight is different. Where you carry your weight is so important. Because if you carry it around your belly, that's the worst kind of weight because it's visceral fat. It's around your organs. And that is what's going to kill you more than, quicker than any other. So yes, to your eye, I may not look it. But believe me, the stats say I am. And the other reason you don't sometimes know it is because I'm sitting in a wheelchair. You don't see my backside. You don't see my hips. You don't see the size of my legs. You don't see that because it's hidden by clothing. And because of my weight, I wear bigger clothing. So all of those things hide from you the fact that, yeah, I am obese. I am unhealthy. And I do need the surgery. This is going to save my life. And that's why I'm going through with this, despite the potential risks. But in this case, for me, the benefits far outweigh the risks. And that's a tough thing because the risk is to my life and my health. But if something goes wrong, the burden has to be borne by others. My husband, potentially my children. It's a big thing for them to have to care for me, look after me, deal with my death if I die. All of these things have to be considered. But at the end of the day, it's like taking cancer drugs to cure cancer. The drugs themselves are poison. It's as simple as that. You don't take them, you die. You take them, you could die. We went through this with our son. Carl had nephrotic syndrome. Technically, he still got it. You don't outgrow it. You're just in remission. And he took drugs that could kill him. But we didn't have a choice, because if he didn't take the drugs, he would die. So that's kind of how I equate this surgery for me. And I want people to understand that. I want them to think before they make silly comments or rash comments or even thoughtless comments or ask questions that are insensitive. But equally, I don't want people to stop asking questions, because if they're asked in a way in which they want to gain knowledge and they want to understand people with obesity and how it affects their lives, then that's great. Those questions I will answer. And I will be happy to answer them on here, or I can answer them at a future point in one of my other videos. And I'll write any questions down and I can respond to those perhaps in a question and answer section. Because I have lots of questions myself, most of which have been answered by the surgical teams, the dietitians, and all of that that's to come this week. But yeah, I want you to ask questions. And if this is of interest to you, keep coming back and follow me along my journey as I hopefully lose weight, gain health. That's what I want. I want to gain health. I want to gain a life that is lost to me, one where I can go out without struggling on my own, one where I can push myself for an hour while I'm out at the shops. All these things and many more that we will discuss in the future. So thank you for listening, and I will be back either tomorrow or the next day with an update on where I am at 9 days from my surgery. Have a wonderful day, everybody. God bless. Bye.